Good evening and welcome to the channel. In today's video, I'm going to be potting up some plants I received in the mail today. And if you'd like to spend some time with me and pot up some plants, stay tuned. I'm going to be taking this reclaimed soil that I've been reclaiming for the past 3 days out of the garden from different projects that I've been working on, and I am going to use this. I'm going to refresh it and use it as the soil for a pot I'm going to plant up for my sister. This is a little pot that I got from something I purchased a while back. It's been sitting in the shed. I'm going to use it as a temporary pot for a plant I'm going to give my sister. What I've done is I have placed some leaves in the bottom of this pot, and I'm just going to use some reclaimed soil. Now there's a great likelihood that some of my composting worms are in this soil, and that's all fine and good. But I'm going to refresh this soil with some fertilizer. So I'm just going to put a little bit in there. This is some Espoma Garden Tone. It's for vegetables and herbs. And I'm just going to put 1 scoop in there because it is a small pot. I'm also going to take some Osmocote. This is also for vegetables and flowers. And I'm going to take a scoop just like that. Place that in the pot. And I'm just going to work this in the soil with my hands, just like so. Now I'm going to take just a little bit of soil from out of the pot, put it back in there like that, and work it again. Now, what I'm going to be giving my sister is a little baby bay leaf tree. And this is what it looks like. So I'm just going to take it out like so. Take this and put it inside of the pot and take this little baby out just like this. The roots don't look too bad. Now to me they look like they're not altogether healthy. Some of them are brown and like it may be a little worse for the wear. So I'm going to keep an eye on this. I'm hoping it's not going to die. It's a bit root bound, so I'm just going to give it a little smush, kind of loosen it up a little bit. And I'm just going to place it in the container like that. And then I'm going to backfill around it. Just like that. Turning the pot. Now some of those leaves are just a little bit yellow, but I'm going to try to nurse this to where those leaves perk up, and that way she doesn't get a tree that has leaves that are going to fall off. So I'm just going to give that a little press, firm it in like that, and press it again. Press it again, and I'm also going to just press down this soil. I'm only trying to put the soil right at soil level where the soil of the plant was, not too much higher than that. I'm going to put a little bit of wood chip mulch on the top of that soil so that the soil stays moist. I'm going to take a little bit of soil off because I don't want the soil to be too high above the soil level that was in the original container, because I am going to put a little bit of mulch in there. And I'm going to set this aside and pot up a few more plants. And once I'm done potting everything up, I am going to water everything in deeply. And I'm going to place these plants inside of my outdoor greenhouse so that they don't get a lot of sun exposure. And I'm going to leave them in there for about a week or so and let them acclimate to the weather here, because these came all the way from Canada, and the weather in Canada is different than the weather in Texas. So I'm going to place this aside and pot up my plants. This container consists of a purple trumpet flower. I cut it all the way back and it hasn't started to grow yet, but I did do a scrape test relatively down low, and I saw that there was green growth on it. So I figured I would leave it and not mess with it. So that's what this is, and I'm hoping that there really is some life. And as you can see, this right here is also a piece of it. This is where I scratched it and it was green, so I thought I would just leave it alone and give it a chance to come back. I don't remember if I put any flower seeds in this pot, so what I'm going to do is I want the surface of this pot to fill in, because this plant grows tall and it has sparseness along its stem. Usually towards the top is where I find the flower itself. So I'm going to place in this pot the lamb's ear. I know from experience that the lamb's ear can get pretty wide. It's not going to get really tall, but it will get fairly wide. And so I'm just going to take my hurry knife, stick it down in the pot, and move the soil. And I have the plant off to my right, and I'm just going to take it out of the pot like I did all the other plants, and kind of scoop around gently and try to release it out. Now these are, as you can see, the roots look good. They're yellowish, whitish. Unlike the bay leaf, those roots did not look good. They looked old, but it could be that's just how the roots look. Some roots aren't bright like this color. You can tell it was beginning to get root bound or pot bound. So I'm just going to loosen that up a little bit by giving it a smush, just kind of loosening them up so that this plant knows that it is in a different location and it can spread out. And I'm just going to wiggle it into that spot. I know that looks brutal. I'm going to get some reclaimed soil, and I'm just going to pop some soil down and around like so. Just like that. And firm it in. And I'm going to push that mulch back, and I am going to get a little bit more mulch just to make sure that this pot has enough mulch in it. And I'm going to do the same thing on this side and on this side, because this side over here is up against another container, so I don't want it to grow this way, but it will fill in. So I'm just going to place my plant stake, my plant tag, place it inside of the pot. That way I know what it is, even though I do know what it is. I'm pretty good at remembering certain plants. Just gonna push that soil, and as you can see, this soil is moist. I watered this pot a couple of days ago when I topped it up with some mulch, and when I double checked it, of course, to make sure that it did seem to be alive. I'm hoping it is. This is pretty root bound. I can see roots in the bottom, and it's holding on a little bit, so I'm having to give it a little extra smushing, and it doesn't want to come out easily. There we go. Had to give it a little tug. As you can see, that is extremely root bound. So I'm just gonna do the same thing, just kind of pinch it. I'm not trying to break them, but I'm trying to loosen them up a little bit like that. And then I'm just going to place it in there like that. grab some soil and plop it around like so, making sure it doesn't have any air pockets, and then brush that mulch on the top. And if I do happen to have some flower seeds that I put in here and they're dispersed, hopefully they will grow. I just don't remember. There's been so much going on this weekend. I've been like a mad hatter rushing around trying to make sense of the garden, see what's alive, plant some things. You know, it's springtime, right? I'm doing the springtime mad dash. So I'm just do the same thing. This will be the last time I do this. And I could have traditionally dug a hole in it, but I didn't want to do that. I didn't want to disrupt too much, which is why I'm doing it the way I'm doing it. And then again, one last time, give it a little pinch, give it a little pull. Let those roots know that they are no longer in that tiny little pot and that they can spread out. And I'm just going to backfill with a little bit of soil like that. And then cover it with mulch like that. Pressing that soil down, and that is it. And I am hoping, like I said, that if I did put some seeds in here, that they will grow up and around because I don't remember. And that's it. I'm going to water everything in, and then I'm going to call it a night. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, do me a favor, give this video a thumbs up. Share this video. If you like, leave me a comment. I do my very best to answer all the comments that I receive. And if you feel so inclined, subscribe to my channel. I greatly appreciate all who visit, whether you are subscribed or not subscribed. I want to thank all of those who watch my videos. And I'll see you in the next one. Happy gardening to you. Bye for now.